Good morning, everybody. This is Patrick Lee. It's time for Midweek Motivation Live. I hope you're all doing fine today. Doing a little adjustments on my lighting here. I've changed locations a little bit and loving life. It's all wonderful and having a good day, and I hope you are too. Midweek Motivation Live. What are we going to talk about today? It's the first week in August of the year 2021. And it's been a crazy year already, crazy busy. A lot of things have happened in my life. A lot of things are happening in your life. And a lot of it has to do with what we're going to talk about. People already tuning in. Some of the usuals. Good morning. Good morning, Sal. Always good to see y'all on here. A lot of people already tuning in. We're going to talk about asking today. You're going to say, this is a crazy title for the show. Get off your ask and start asking. And I've been listening to some good motivational tips here lately from a lot of the masters that have been out there, and it's become apparent to myself that that's one of the things that I need to work on. So I always know if it's something that I need to work on, chances are it can probably help you too, right? You can see, the show is coming to you from a different location. I just moved, changed locations. I've got a bigger office, and we have more rooms for all the activities. And so a new little different look, and we're still making some more changes here to the office, more decor, big screens and art going up here soon in the new location, studio number 5, right? We've had a couple. I still have a couple of my regulars, but it's so good to see you guys tuning in every week. We're going to talk to you about asking today, about learning how to become a better asker. We want to learn to become a master of self-discovery. We've talked about a lot of things here lately about business, about you, some of them about self-discovery, some of them about discovering things from other people. Hold on just a second. Sorry for that short delay. Got my coffee, got my water today. Want to jump into this, but it's been on my heart, been on my mind, about learning to become a better asker, to become a master of self-discovery. And I've talked to you people a lot about, just go for it. What would happen if you just went for it? The Bible says that you have not because you ask not. And there are a lot of you that watch the show, and a lot of people that talk to me, and some of you that call me, message me, text me, and want to share a lot of things that are going on in your life. And I appreciate that so much. A couple of the guys on here that watch regularly, one of them I'm going to have on here soon. We're going to do an interview with him and how he applied a lot of the tips and strategies that we use here on Midweek Motivation Live to change the way he operates. He operates his business, changed the way he organized his life, and started applying these tips and tricks, and it's really changed his life. And I'm just so proud when they call and tell me these things. We had a great phone call here recently to talk about some of those things that he's applied, and that's wonderful. That's the reason I do the show. I want you to become better. I want you to have success in every area of your life. So when this happens and people call and they want to share their success stories, I'm incredibly happy about that. And then I want to start asking them, what was it about what you learned that caused it, to trip the switch to start applying it to your life? Because that's what really matters here. When the rubber meets the road, are you making a difference in your life? Am I making a difference in your life? So I am learning how to become a master of self-discovery myself. The definition of mastery on any topic is generally perceived by the business world and the education world to be 10,000 hours of study in that particular topic. If you have studied for 10,000 hours in a topic, you can claim that you are a master of that. Now that's wow, that seems like a daunting task, doesn't it? To study on something for 10,000 hours. But if you start to put that into perspective, if I do this show, wow, am I going to have to do math now? If I do this show for 30 minutes a day and I do it once a week, how many weeks would I have to do this show to teach you how to reach 10,000 hours of teaching you how to have success in life. And would that count if we change topics every week? But I believe that the show itself is about having success in every area of life. So it really is about life mastery and motivation, right? So that's the main reason I'm here. So if you can achieve 10,000 hours of study in any particular topic, then you can become a master of that topic. And it's actually fairly easy. And a lot of the people say if you will simply read a book, if you'll read a book once a month on a particular topic, in as little as a year to 2 years, you can achieve mastery in that topic. Isn't that crazy? It just depends on, of course, how long it takes you to read a book, but and the length of the book. But that's very possible. 10,000 hours. So why don't we become a master of self-discovery? If we want to master a topic, we should definitely start with ourselves, right? So I titled the show today, Get Off Your Ask and Start Asking. A lot of people are afraid to start asking the real questions that are going to make their life better. They would rather sit on their ask and cover it up and not utilize it to make their life better. You would rather say the questions that you're asking yourself is, what's wrong with sitting on the couch for 6 hours watching TV? What's wrong for just barely putting in enough time at my job that they barely decide not to fire me? What's wrong with eating unhealthy and eating everything that I want? Because after all, round is a shape, right? How many times has someone said that to you, or have you said that to someone else? I'm in shape, round is a shape. So these are the bad questions for us to ask ourselves. We're basically sitting on our ask and not doing something to change our life. So I've said this before. I actually shared this in a previous show. A lot of those asks that we ask ourselves that are negative are mistakes, but we say here that nothing you learn from is a mistake, right? It's an opportunity to get better, smarter, and more strategic than you were before. So my question to you this week would be to start asking yourself. Number one, ask yourself what you can do better. Can you eat better? Can you get better sleep? Hey, my hand's in the air, right? I am not a good sleeper, and I continue to tell myself that I work. Sometimes it seems like 16 to 18 to 20 hours a day. And when I do sit down, I'm exhausted and may fall asleep on the couch or in my favorite chair or at the computer in my office at home. And then I'll wake up and go to bed and then wake up again and start writing things down. I woke up yesterday morning, not this morning. I woke up early this morning, but yesterday morning I woke up early at like 3:30 in the morning. And I literally laid there for 45 minutes to an hour. Said, am I going back to sleep? Thoughts were racing in my mind, and they were questions that I needed to ask myself. And this is really, when this came to me, and my wife got up a couple hours later to get ready for work. And she came into my office and said, wow, what are you doing up so early? I said, apparently God told me I needed to ask myself some questions. I'm in here writing things down. I was making lists for the day, things that I knew in my mind that needed to be done, things that were undone, a lot of different chores, things that I had told myself I need to get around to doing these things. And I share with you guys here on the show as well. Make a list of the positive and negatives, put a line down a piece of paper and ask yourself the question at the top, whatever the topic is. Write down the pros on one side and the cons on the other side, or the positives and the negatives for those that you don't know what pros and cons are. What are the positives and the negatives that for any topic in your life? Is it eating better? Is it getting better sleep? So I was really challenged. I was woken up from my deep sleep to get up and start writing these things down. And I had a list in a short time of things that I knew that I needed to improve in my life. So then I got into work and I started making lists yesterday of those things and starting putting together action plans on how am I actually going to make these things come to pass in my life? Because if I don't do that, it's too easy, and it's for you as well. It's too easy to let those things become swept under the rug or pushed behind the door, shoved in a closet. And a year down the road, those things that you told yourself that you wanted to do, you will not have done. So ask yourself, what can you do better? How can I become a better father, a better husband, a better leader, These are the questions that I want you to start asking yourself. What can I do better? If there's something in your life that you currently don't know how to do, if there's a skill that you are lacking, ask yourself, what skill do you currently not possess that you can commit to developing? And this is one that I'm currently working on as well. I've started working years ago on how to become a speaker, how to not be afraid of the camera, how to put myself out there and try to help others. And that's a skill that I've worked on repeatedly. I've learned to speak in front of people. I've been a teacher, a classroom teacher, and that has become pretty much second nature to me. So that doesn't bother me anymore. Public speaking is one of the top 3 things that most people in life fear incredibly. So I still would not commit to you and say that I would never have any fear or trepidation from getting on stage in front of thousands of people, sometimes hundreds of people. But I'm pretty much beyond that, and it's okay. But there are other skills that I need to develop in my life, and vocabulary is one of them. So there are a lot of words out there that I don't understand, or, well, I wouldn't say I don't really understand, but I don't use them in my everyday conversation. And then some people say, Patrick, you talk too fast and you use a lot of words I don't understand already. Why would you want to increase your communication? Because increasing your word power, your word knowledge, elevates you to another level in life with people that are operating at another level in life. I've read a lot of books, self-help books from a lot of different people, from Donald Trump to Robert Kiyosaki to Dave Ramsey and a lot of others, Tony Robbins and numerous people. And they all talk to you about the language of the level that you're at, the vocabulary that's used in the circles that you want to run in, and how you need to improve your vocabulary. Robert Kiyosaki talks a lot, the Rich Dad, Poor Dad guy, the cash flow quadrant, and the cash flow 101 board game, talks a lot about having a financial literacy. You need to understand what the terms are that when you start talking about finances and money. If you don't understand what an option is, a stock option is, what a hold option is, how to do a call. If you don't even know what these words mean, how are you going to know how to get into that lifestyle? I sent out a meme the other day that was directed to realtors, and it talks about love and relationships and finding happiness inside as opposed to finding happiness in other people. And I was surprised at the comments that came back to me about people saying, I don't understand what you're talking about. But the comment was, to find true happiness, you need to have an appraisal waiver and a fast clear to close. And an appraisal waiver is something that happens in the real estate world when the appraisal is waived based on the financial stability of the loan for the buyer that's going to buy the property. It's such a good deal. Their credit is so high. The property is obviously in a neighborhood or a price range that it's going to appraise. And the lender will waive that appraisal, thereby saving the buyer over $500 and speeding up the process. And then a fast clear to close means that the lender has simply called and said, your client has gone through final underwriting and we have a clear to close. And when that happens quickly, you can close early and everyone's happy. And that gives realtors this huge feeling of enjoyment and happiness inside. It comes welling up from inside, and you can't help but sometimes tell your friends and text your team and say, wow, we have a fast clear to close. But those people that didn't understand the language I was talking texted me and messaged me and said, I don't really know what that means. I think it means this, but hey, I appreciate the sentiment. And all it was the language that I used, and people did not understand. The people that were in the real estate world laughed hysterically. They said, that's very funny. So you need to develop the skill, and that's the one that I want to develop, is vocabulary. If you do not have the vocabulary that people and a different level that you want to achieve or climb up to, you might want to start learning to develop that skill. People skills in general, customer service skills. These are all things that we can do to help ourselves, right? And that's what I'm trying to get across to you today in this. What skill do you currently not possess that you can commit to developing? It may be a book reading skill. Maybe you say, I'm not a good reader, but I want to be, because readers are leaders, right? Leaders are readers. It goes both ways. So if you can develop the skill of reading more books, working on your language and reading comprehension, then you could automatically start putting good things into your brain. Your eyes are a gate into your soul, into your spirit, your inner man, and to your brain. So as you learn to become a better reader, and one of the best ways to become a better reader actually is to ask someone for help, to talk to you about reading, but then also to read a lot, because a lot of those things come from practice, right? So learn to become a better reader. One of the things that this one is actually, this show is wanting to help you learn to become better at is asking. Ask yourself what your life would look like if you developed the skills that you lack. Then write that down. Same thing on a piece of paper. What would your life look like if you developed the particular skill that you think is lacking in your life? Write down in great detail what that would look like. If you learn to become a better reader, would you start reading more books? Could you see yourself in your mind sitting down in your easy chair or at your desk or in your reading nook at the house, reading a really good book that's going to help you develop as a person? And as that happens and you can see that in your mind, start writing down the feelings that come into your brain, your thoughts about that. How does that make you feel? And if that makes you feel afraid, you know what I mean? If you start getting fearful about that, then ask yourself another question. Why? Why am I fearful about reading? What is it about reading that scares you? Does it bring up a past memory of when you're in grade school and you're in reading class and you were not a good reader? Maybe the teacher wanted you to go read in front of class and that embarrassed you, or just wanted you to stand up and read a particular section out of a book, and that embarrassed you. That's one of the things that I excelled at when I was a kid in school, was reading and reading comprehension, but math was my weakness. I didn't like math. So yeah, Ross, that's a great comment. Reading more books is something I struggle with, and a lot of people do. You can read for hours a day, but segmented stuff online mostly. Great feedback there, Ross. It's very true. And that's many people have these kind of thoughts. Maybe it's a negative thought from the past, but if you can develop that reading skill, this is what I'm trying to get you to think about. If you develop that reading skill and you start reading more books on topics of importance that are going to help you attain the goals you want to achieve in life, how would you feel? If you read the book and you comprehended it better, and you started using those things in your life. We've talked in a previous show about scripting your life, right? Scripting for success. And if you start learning to read more of the books that are aligned with your life goals, when those questions come up in life, you have the answer, because it gets stored in your memory bank, your brain and your soul and your spirit. So as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he, right? Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So if you want to speak better, put better stuff in you, put books in yourself, and you'll see that your life will start achieving more success as you move forward. I hope this is helping you guys this week. That's the goal each week. Don't be afraid. Here's the final tip. Don't be afraid to ask others to help you. This is another very important ask, another ask that I actually have a little bit of a weakness with. My eyes were playing tricks on me on the screen. Don't worry, don't mind me. Just for a second, I had to turn around and look. I thought something was behind me. It's not. It was just me. It's okay. But one of my weaknesses that I admit to you all the time is I internalize things too much, and I try to do it all myself. I try to take everything on myself, and then I find myself overworked and stressed out. And then I do sometimes hit the couch at 11 o'clock at night, just totally wore out, wrung out like a wet dish rag. And I really need to recharge my batteries. And there are multiple things that recharge my batteries. But why do I let myself get to the point to where I feel that need, that I'm totally spent before I ask someone else to help me, because two can do much better than one. Many hands makes for light work, right? These are a lot of the things that your parents or grandparents may have told you. What is it that's holding you back from asking others for help? Is it pride? Do you have a pride issue? Are you afraid that you will be seen as a weaker person if you ask others to help you? I have to help some people move in a couple of weeks, and I've helped many people move. And number one, because I'm a friend. Number two, because I have a truck. So those are the two basic questions that people ask when they're looking for someone to help them move. Who are my friends and who has a truck, right? So I'm fixing to be helping my wife's grandmother move here soon. And my wife reached out to a friend for me and has already recruited some help for me, because she knew I would try to take it on myself and not ask my friends for help. And that's a personal weakness of mine, but I'm learning to ask more. I'm learning to hire things out more because I simply don't have the time. I am learning based upon the show that I teach how to identify the things that are important in my life and how to master success in my life. And that's what I'm trying to help you do as well. So as I develop these skills in myself, I continue to try to do the things that I teach you to do as well. Because if I don't do them, how can I expect you to either? So don't be afraid to ask others to help you. If you're sincere and have a powerful belief, then it will be easier for others to jump in and help. I was discussing this very topic yesterday with my chiropractor, Dr. Hand. There's a shout out here for Dr. Shane Hand. Y'all look him up, man, a great spirit-filled believer, wonderful chiropractor. Totally believes that God is the healer, and he's just helping your body get in alignment so God's creation can do what it was created to be. And we were talking about the power of asking. And the Bible does say that you have not because you ask not, right? And when you have a petition that you have made before the Lord, we are supposed to ask God for the things that we need. And we also then we wait on the Lord. Sometimes when we have asked him for something, we've prayed about something, right? But what does the word wait really mean? You know, when you're waiting on the Lord for something that you have asked him for, waiting for him to answer a prayer, waiting on the Lord simply doesn't mean sitting in your chair twiddling your thumbs going, I sure wish the Lord would do something, right? I sure wish the Lord would do something. You've prayed for something. You have sought the Lord for an answer in some area of your life. Waiting is more like waiting on the last bus to show up, and you're at the bus station and you're going to be late, and you know that the bus is coming and you're waiting on that bus. How are you waiting? You're looking forward, right? You're looking down the road. You know it's on the way. You're waiting for it. You're eagerly waiting for it. You're telling everyone else the bus is on the way. It's the same way with God. You need to start speaking that your prayer is being answered, speaking that your life is getting better. The answer to the questions that you have been asking is on the way, because that's what waiting is. It's an active word. It's not just simply waiting. It's not just waiting. It's eager anticipation of an answer, right? You're looking for an expected outcome, and you are waiting for that. And a lot of people are waiting, and they're speaking it, and they know it's coming. And if it takes a little while, then all of a sudden they start getting, a little depressed, and they start slowing down, and then they stop speaking about it. And then within a short amount of time, they figure, well, I guess maybe it's not coming. That's when doubt creeps in. Well, then you have to turn right back around and ask yourself, do I believe in this? If you want someone to help you, jump in and help you, you'd better have a powerful belief in what it is that you're asking for. When they can see the sincerity, the belief, the dogged determination in your spirit that this is going to happen, it's going to be so much more easy for them to jump in, align themselves with you, and offer you some help. So number one, it's got to start with you. We went right back to the beginning and said, learn to become a master of self-discovery. Get off your ask and start asking. Number one, asking yourself how you can get better, what skills you need to develop. What can I do better? What skill do I currently not possess that I need in my life? What would my life look like if I developed that skill? And who do I need to ask to help me achieve that? Write it down plainly so you can keep the goal in front of you, and then go out and ask. That's your bonus tip for today. Ask. Hey, remember this, guys. Courage begins at the end of your comfort zone. You may be afraid to ask someone for some help, but don't be. There are many people out there in your life that love you and believe in you, and they're just waiting for you to ask them for some help. Okay? I hope this has helped you a lot. I do this every week as a service to you. Midweek Motivation Live is brought to you free and without calories every week. I appreciate you guys coming back every week, chiming in with your tips and your comments as well. Let me know if this has helped you. Never hesitate to ask me a question. You can always throw those in the comments. You can always message me on here as well. I do this as a service to you, but as a service to me, if you can, I would love your referrals. I am in the real estate business. If you know anyone looking to buy or sell a home or invest in real estate, click on the link to my digital business card created by Content Cardz, Nick Krim and Michael K. And that would be awesome. It's going across the ticker at the bottom of the screen, www.patricklee.work. And I will be happy to get with you and help you with any of your real estate needs. And even if you just want to get in my calendar and have a chat, if you want to do an interview, if you want to talk about some of the things going on in your life, everything that I'm about, all of my social media links and links to my calendar are in that digital business card. Okay. Until next week, I appreciate you guys. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.